So it's before the sun rises, early in the morning, and this is when these cows pee. These guys are here with buckets trying to catch that piss because they think these cows are very holy and that the urine itself contains medicinal qualities. He's going. Cows are so sacred in India that their urine and feces are key ingredients in a multi-billion-dollar industry of holistic products. So this is cow urine. Distilled urine.
Urine for cow, but medicine for human. This is for pain, actually, arthritis, muscular pain. It is a liniment.
So what's this?
These are organic dhoop batti.
Incense.
Incense.
What is it made out of?
इसमें cow dung.
This is cow dung.
Cause diseases, asthma, lungs problems, coughing, but these are organic.
Sure, in like the most organic way possible. Do you think that the cows are holy?
Cows actually not a animal for Indians. Cow is a mother.
When you say Indians, you mean Hindus?
Hindus.
Yeah. There are nearly 1 billion Hindus in India. And as tensions rise between them and minority populations, it's the cow which has become the center of an, at times, violent movement. I'm a couple hours outside of Delhi in a small town called Meerut, and I'm about to meet up with a group of self-fashioned cow protectors, and I'm going to ride along with them as they patrol the streets to try to stop illegal cow smugglers. Why is it so important for you as a Hindu to protect these cows?
हिंदू धर्म में गाय को माता का दर्जा दिया गया है। वो मुस्लिम धर्म के लोग हैं जो हमारी आस्था को छेड़ते हैं और हमारी आस्था को छेड़ने वाले के साथ हम लोग बर्दाश्त नहीं करते, इसीलिए उन्हें पकड़ते हैं हम लोग। हाँ।
A police officer has just arrived. This group of cow protectors is setting up kind of a checkpoint here.
हाँ, भैंस है? ओके, जान दो। ये
Here we go. Informal checkpoints guarded by local Hindu citizens have been springing up across the country. And from what we saw, appear to exist with full cooperation of local authorities.
हमारी हेल्प के लिए आए हैं, हमारे लिए। जो भी हो जी, हम आपके
The problem is what happens after they catch people who they think intend to slaughter cows.
A 20-year-old youth was lynched by a mob for his alleged role in cattle smuggling.
There's another lynching in Jharkhand. One person has been lynched over possession of beef.
The victims of these reported cases are predominantly Muslim, who suffer everything from beatings to murder.
जिस समय मैंने पहली बार गौ तस्करों को पकड़ा था, मुझे ये लगा कोई मेरी माँ को काटने जा रहा था और मैंने अपनी माँ को बचा लिया और उस पापी को सजा करा दी।
When you see someone slaughtering a cow, what do you feel?
अगर आपने ही ये काम कर दिया तो दिल ये करता है कि आपके हाथ काट दूं। लेकिन अगर मैंने आपके हाथ काट दिए, आप में और मुझ में क्या फर्क रह गया? सिर्फ तुम्हें सजा जरूर दिला सकता हूं क्योंकि मुझे तुम और तुम्हारे जैसे पूरी इस नस्ल को खत्म करना है हिंदुस्तान से। और मैं अगर हाथ के बदले हाथ और सर के बदले सर काटने लगा तो यहाँ पर कत्लेआम हो जाएगा, यहाँ कुछ नहीं बचेगा।
भारत माता की जय, जय गौ माता,
जय गौ माता।
In many parts of the country, just the suspicion of eating beef can get you killed.
A 50-year-old man was beaten to death after a rumor spread in the area that the family had eaten beef.
In the case of Muhammad Akhlaq, a farmer who was killed by a Hindu mob in 2015, not only did police investigate his murder, but also his alleged beef consumption. We spoke to Muhammad Akhlaq's brother about what happened.
हमारे घर से करीब 200 मीटर की दूरी पे एक मंदिर है। मंदिर से एक अनाउंसमेंट होता है कि किसी ने कोई गाय काट के भीड़ इकट्ठी होती है और वो सिर्फ इखलाक के घर में जाके इखलाक को हिट किया, जबकि ना वहाँ कोई गाय कटी है, ना ही वहाँ पे कोई खून की दाग है, कुछ भी एविडेंस वहाँ नहीं है।
The mob, they were Hindus?
Yeah. क्या इखलाक की जान से ज्यादा कीमती है वो गाय?
One report found that 97% of all cow vigilante murders in the last decade have taken place after Prime Minister Narendra Modi took power in 2014. To understand what's different about this recent spate of violence, we spoke to Dr. Shashi Tharoor, a Hindu historian and author who served as a United Nations Under-Secretary General and who is now an opposition member of India's parliament. India has had communal or religious violence throughout its history. Is it worse now?
There have been periodic eruptions, and certainly the worst was the partition of India in 1947, when the British carved Pakistan out of the stooped shoulders of India, and that witnessed a genocide that led to about 1 million people dying. Obviously, there's been nothing else like that since, but what was very important was that the state stood behind the secular principle, that everybody is equal and that religion will not determine your rights in this country. But for the first time, we have a government which comes from an ideological background that actually calls into question their commitment to the equality principle of the Constitution.
That party is the Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP, a right-wing party with close ties to Hindu nationalism. Calling out the BJP's religious extremism has made Dr. Tharoor a political target. He's now caught up in a national scandal of his own.
We completely reject the charge against Shri Shashi Tharoor. This is coming from the factory of lies of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi.
As secularism wanes, many BJP leaders aren't shy about sharing their Hindu nationalist beliefs.
We are very keen that this country should remain overwhelmingly Hindu majority country.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಸ್ಲಾಂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕನೂ ಈ ಭಯೋತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. अगर हिंदुस्तान में रहकर अगर हिंदुओं को अगर कोई ललकारेगा उसको इस भारत देश में हम रहने नहीं देंगे.
And no BJP politician has been more brazen than Yogi Adityanath, an Islamophobic Hindu monk who won election to lead India's most populous state.
हिंदू अलग संस्कृति है, मुस्लिम अलग संस्कृति है. दोनों एक साथ नहीं रह सकती. दो संस्कृतियां कभी एक साथ नहीं रह सकती हैं. ये टकराव होगा, जरूर होगा.
There is this perception that the Muslims came, they conquered our heroes, and they ruled over us. There is the perception on the part of many that it's time for the Hindus to win the big battles against the Muslims. They've actually started rewriting some textbooks so that battles that were lost by Hindu heroes are now described as victories instead of defeat. The BJP's leaders consider every Muslim ruler in India to be foreign, even though they ceased to be foreign the moment they came to this country, married Indians and assimilated here. So to call these people foreigners is bigotry, plain and simple.
Not only does the BJP command a majority in the national parliament and in critical state governments, their political dominance is bolstered by an organization of Hindu foot soldiers, the RSS. This is the annual meeting of the Rashtriya Swamsevak Sangh, or RSS. They sort of look like a military organization, but they're not. The political wing of the RSS right now dominates Indian politics. The RSS was formed in 1925 by Keshav Baliram Hedgewar with the purpose of creating a Hindu unity. Early leaders such as MS Golwalkar admired Adolf Hitler and the Nazi movement for steps taken to ensure, quote, the purity of the race and its culture. With as many as 6 million members across the country, the RSS is said to be the largest voluntary paramilitary organization in the world, though their leadership denies this categorization. The ruling party, the BJP, was formed from the RSS. 3 of the highest-ranking officers of the BJP, including the Prime Minister, were former members of the RSS. So the ideology behind this organization, its reason for existing, the idea that Mother India is a Hindu nation, is baked into the very concept of what the BJP is trying to do as a political party. As Hindu supremacy becomes institutionalized from the ground up, critics of the BJP and its Hindu agenda are being silenced. We spoke to Akhar Patel, a journalist and the head of Amnesty International India. Is there freedom of press in India?
Yes and no. We are free to write and say what we want as long as the government likes it. If it doesn't like it, it could come and vandalize your newspaper, it could put you in jail, it could send its goons to beat you up, and very little would follow in terms of the process of law.
Gauri Lankesh, a newspaper publisher who was highly critical of the BJP and Hindu nationalism, was murdered by motorcycle-riding assailants outside her home in Bangalore just a couple weeks prior to this interview. Why do you think she was killed?
We've had similar murders of people who have resisted Hindutva. I would say that is what got her into trouble. The problem in India is not at the moment politics, it's just majoritarian violence, a sort of fascism, really.
Do you think that India is a Hindu nation?
Yes. All over the world is suffering from the Muslim attacks, jihadi groups. We did not oppose any community, we did not oppose. But they will follow our rules.
To see what the BJP plans to do to stop the violence, we spoke to Ram Madhav, a high-ranking BJP official. The messaging that the BJP is unabashedly a Hindu party, has that helped push the agenda, push the popularity forward?
BJP is a party wedded to Indian nationalism, but it is not any religion-specific identity.
The Muslim minority in this country are oftentimes harassed, beaten up, and in some cases killed, under the aegis of protecting cows, protecting culture, and protecting Hinduism.
We all work like one family, one community. In one community, there are problems occasionally. They will be dealt with strongly.
If you're a party of inclusion, why is Yogi Adityanath one of your main spokespeople?
Mr. Yogi Adityanath is the Chief Minister of India's biggest state. If he propagates violence against any community, tomorrow he will not be there in that chair.
I have objections to him saying that if one Hindu is killed, 100 Muslims should be killed.
He never said it. It's a complete misrepresentation of facts about him.
The appearance of the BJP being a Hindu nationalist party, the idea that cow protectors, vigilante groups are killing people, the idea that textbooks are being changed, all of these things to an outside observer reeks of authoritarianism, even fascism.
You are an outsider, you have misread it.
No, I'm seeing it with my eyes, I'm hearing it with my ears, and I'm on the streets.
So you have not seen India correctly. Your eyes are misleading, please correct your eyes.
Sadly, it is a sort of cultural backlash we're seeing in many countries around the world. Make America great again is very much like what the BJP is trying to do in India. It's making Hindu India great again. You've got the same phenomenon with the Hungarian right, the Jobbik movement. You've got the same with Marine Le Pen in France and the National Front. You've got the Brexit vote, which is in very many respects an anti-immigrant vote. So it's all saying, let's push out the foreigners, let's push out the people who are not like us, and let's return to a purer version of what our countries were all about, because those were the good old days.
Sounds like fascism.
I'm afraid in many respects, that's precisely what it reminds some of us of. I mean, frankly, I never thought we'd see a time when people could say, gosh, in India it's safer to be a cow than a Muslim. We must win back this battle because it's a battle for India's soul.